So just for anyone who isn't already aware, why don't you tell me a little bit about what your film is all about?
The film's called Love Me Do. It's a crime story and a love story and a cautionary tale at heart. It revolves around an investment banking woman called Antonia, who falls in love with an out-of-work actor called Max. And as their sort of two worlds collide and they get to accept each other, they end up going on a heinous, on a crime spree. So it's a bit of a cautionary tale.
And what was it that inspired the film for you and made you want to bring it to the big screen?
I think the simple way of putting it is I got really fascinated about what it would be like to put a sort of corporate psychopath in a room with a narcissist and have the two fall in love. But if I'm honest, it's probably more complex than that. Prior to becoming a filmmaker, I worked in finance and I also served in the Gurkhas. So I've had a kind of an eclectic background. And I think the three sort of careers, military, investment banking, and filmmaking, made me start to wonder, what types really survive and thrive in those environments. And it tends to be sort of like in the sort of political and bureaucratic worlds of the military, Machiavellianists who play each other off. Then in the investment banking world, the corporate psychopath is kind of well known, and clearly in the sort of film industry, the narcissist does incredibly well. So these kind of characters are actually incredibly charming and lovely to be with. It's only after an event do you start to sort of reflect on the bad things, the evil they do.
And what are some of the challenges that you face when working in independent film and on kind of a smaller budget, I guess?
The best thing about independent film is you can take major risks. Clearly, the biggest obstacle is time, money, facilities, where you can go. But once you've got your head around that, you can start to really sort of put constraints on yourself. For example, with Love Me Do, I'd previously been lined up to shoot a film in LA where I went to college, and it was fully financed, over $1 million. And I ended up walking away because the script wasn't terribly strong. And then I've had a couple of projects in the UK which haven't taken off for whatever reasons. So it's getting to that stage where I was thinking, I can carry on talking about making films or I can make a film. So the great thing about independent cinema is constraints and limitations.
Why do you think independent films are so important to the industry?
Independent film allows you to go beyond that. We'll take risks. There are a lot of people in the industry who, when they looked at this film, turn around and go, it doesn't really fit in the paradigm of what is known as British film. So independent film allows you to push those boundaries. Do
you have a favourite British independent film?
Dead Man's Shoes by Shane Meadows I really love. Really simple, great little story, character and genre. I think it sort of encompasses the best of British independent film.
Why do you think festivals like Raindance are so important to independent film and to the film industry in general?
Raindance is such an important festival. It really helps as a springboard for new talent. And it's an outlet in an increasingly busy sort of world where British films, independent films, can find an audience. It's one thing making a film, and to anybody out there, it is hard to make your first independent film. But it's actually relatively easy compared to trying to get your film seen. And that's, again, where Raindance has been so important.
What do you maybe hope an audience will take away with them?
Love Me Do is quite a risky film. It's a Marmite movie. We hope people will either love it or hate it.